Every month, GameRanx puts together the weirdest stories in the world of gaming, and that is what we're doing today. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanx, the top 10 weird gaming stories of August 2022. Starting off at number 10, a two-player mode was found in Super Punch-Out about 30 years after it came out. So, Super Punch-Out was the Super Nintendo version of Punch-Out. Punch-Out on the NES, great. Super Punch-Out, even better though. It's kind of one of those games that takes the original and just brings it up a notch in every possible way. And as it turns out, it's not just a single-player game. Now, this wouldn't be that weird if it weren't something that was found almost 3 decades after the game was released. A lot of the time, we find everything in a game, or at least we think we do, because people are able to decompile it and look at the code, and not the case. The Twitter account Unlisted Cheats, which is dedicated to finding old cheat codes that were never found, put out several codes for Super Punch-Out. One is basically an opponent select, which is not something that we had before, and 2 is the ability to control the second fighter, effectively making it a 2-player game. A very good 2-player game, might I add. This essentially makes room for people to compete with each other in this game. Like, technically using emulators, you could even be adding people remotely. It's pretty exciting, I think, but it's just super weird to have a cheat like this, which is, not really that complex to activate, found so late in the game. At number 9, so it's 15 years into development with Beyond Good and Evil 2, a game that, has been in development technically since, 2008. And if you remember back in 2017, we were talking about this when they dropped, a trailer, if I remember right. 2017 was 5 years ago. A, that's weird. But B, they just announced the new lead writer for this game is probably the most clear indicator that this is still in development. I don't really know how to regard that, if I'm completely honest. Does it mean they're starting from scratch? Does it mean they're continuing the work that's already been done? Who really knows? It's one of those things where it's been so long, it's hard to really have any idea what to think. That's how weird this is. At number 8, somebody built a gaming PC inside of a toilet. Do I need to tell you why this is weird? It's not something you really do. And when you think of it, you think, oh, that would be funny. I would think that would be funny. Yes, it would be a laugh. Would be. And then you don't do it. Why? Because A, it's not useful, and B, the potential to wreck some computer parts is pretty high considering you're just putting loose water next to them. But YouTuber Mr. Homeless went ahead and did it anyway. I don't know if you've ever looked at his channel, but it's full of weird stuff like that. He's powered computers with a USB power thing that he charged up with only potatoes. He's made fridge PCs, a lot of weird stuff. It's funny stuff, but making a functioning toilet that is also a functioning gaming PC is an interesting one. And number 7, somebody is suing PlayStation for taking a cut of all digital sales in the PlayStation Store. Now, there is a case to be made that taking 30% of the sales in a store is too much. I don't know. I'm not sure that I agree that it's too much. It's the same amount that Steam takes from every transaction. And I kind of think that it is a developer problem, not really a consumer problem. It's not really, screwing consumers as much as it is screwing developers and publishers, it's eating into their money, and I'm pretty sure that the games would cost the same one way or the other, I have a feeling that a $60 game would be a $60 game no matter what. And I think that whenever you see a game that costs the same amount on Steam or Sony as it does on Epic, which takes 12%, there's your evidence. I don't know. I don't think that it's a particularly clever lawsuit. And also, they don't seem to really specify whether or not it's the fact that they're taking the cut or that the cut is too much. And I don't know how they would argue either of those things. So I don't really think that it's going to be a thing that goes too far. Kind of a weird waste of time. At number 6, Squirrel with a Gun. I could just be quiet for a minute and play footage of Squirrel with a Gun. You would know what I'm thinking. A, wonderful. Daniel D'Entremont, yes, absolutely, Squirrel with a Gun. This is the most insane looking thing I have ever seen, and I cannot wait for Squirrel with a Gun. I am so excited for Squirrel with a Gun. It is perfect. Like, I really enjoyed Goat Simulator, but this is like, I think, better than that. It obviously owes a lot to that, but they've really done something wonderful by making you a very small animal using guns that are all bigger than you, because all guns are bigger than a squirrel. Yeah, it's gonna be wonderful. I mean, it's also really fun because the squirrel's pretty realistic looking, but like nothing it does looks realistic at all. It all looks very cartoony, and I think that was really the right choice. I love this. And number 5, Overwatch is removing paid loot boxes. So that's cool. Like, they're transitioning over to Overwatch 2, which is going to release on October 4th. You're not going to be able to play the original game after the sequel launches, so you're going to have to upgrade to Overwatch 2. Everything that you have won through loot boxes in the original game will transfer over to the sequel, where there will also not be paid loot boxes. Honestly, good. You know how every other time they do annoying monetization crap, it doesn't die? This is a big blow for loot boxes. Honestly, it's not popular. There's a lot of litigation going on all over the world about loot boxes. I think gamers might be winning on this one. That's good. Weird, but good. At number 4, researchers actually came up with this absolutely amazing, huge advance in VR. Now, as we all know, VR is about as bulky as it can be. You got a huge thing on your head, bunch of weight right there on your face as you're playing a game. No longer. Now they have got a few millimeters thick, regular looking glasses, except for, you know, these big ribbons coming out of them. This is the biggest thing for VR, period. Now, this is something that they've been able to do before, but not project 3D images onto it. That has changed. They are able to do 3D on these images. Now, I think probably the most exciting aspect about it is I don't actually think they need to be this small in order to be a lot better than the current VR headsets. If you could make something about double this size rather than a few millimeters thick, a few more millimeters thick, I think you're really looking at a possible complete VR revolution here. Now, that doesn't mean that every VR game is going to be a hit suddenly, but I mean, it's pretty awesome. VR has a lot of uses beyond just gaming, like making games. It's great. I'm really excited for this. It's really cool. At number 3, Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, confirmed that they have attempted to make video games set in the Breaking Bad universe multiple times, but that it never happened. I'll just quote him directly. "I'm not much of a video game player, but how can you not know Grand Theft Auto?" I remember saying to the guys who are off running Apple now, who said yes originally to Breaking Bad, who owns Grand Theft Auto? Can't you have a module? Can't there be a Breaking Bad add-on? And then he said, still makes sense to me. So it kind of sounds like, A, they tried to talk to Rockstar about making something based on Breaking Bad, but I don't know if that's exactly the case. But he went on to say, there have been quite a few attempts at video games, and some of them even kind of sort of made it to the market. We tried to do a VR experience with the PlayStation VR and had a mobile game that lasted a little while, but it seems like they never really got to where they wanted to be with it. And he basically said it's because it's really hard to make video games. I believe it. At number 2, there was an unreleased Warcraft adventure game that leaked a few years ago, and it was playable, and I mean, it's kind of a hot mess in terms of what it looked like. It was highly compressed, very bad video graphics, and some person, for some reason, spent 6 years remastering and making it look good. It was like just a basic point-and-click game, something that was very popular in the 1990s. I mean, you remember Monkey Island and all that. A lot of that's even coming back now. And not only does this look better and work better and all that, it also contains 2 cutscenes that just weren't in the leak because another leak happened somewhere else and they got a hold of them and put them back into the game. And like, just to be frank, it looks incredible compared to how it originally originally looked. I mean, it's just massively an improvement. And it's really cool somebody did that. Although it's also really weird that somebody did it. No complaints. I mean, honestly, I wish that there was more stuff where older stuff got preserved in such a way. We tend to lose a lot of video game history just because there's no way to keep it around, especially in pristine condition, so to speak. And finally, at number 1, you ever wanted to see Kermit the Frog in Spider-Man? Well, Spider-Man Remastered is now on PC, and wow, is it fun. So Kermit looks hilarious in Spider-Man, because A, the web slinging is very funny with Kermit the Frog, but B, I mean, the combat in Spider-Man is pretty tense. It's a nice refined form of that sort of Arkham-inspired combat, and really, seeing a Muppet do it, it's weird and hilarious. I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say about this. It's a ton of fun now. A quick bonus for you. We actually talked about this in another video, but I think it's worth bringing up here because it's just a wild win. Twitch streamer Jervelin was able to beat Halo 2 on Legendary difficulty with all the skulls enabled without dying. And he did so as part of a challenge that a YouTuber by the name of Critical set up. Essentially, there was a bounty originally for $5,000 to get somebody to do this, and nobody did it. I don't know if it was that nobody was able to do it or that nobody liked $5,000 enough to do the challenge. Like, you had to stream the whole thing. Like, you had to prove that you could do all of this without dying. And after nobody took it out at $5,000, he raised it to $20,000, and Jervelin did it. Like, it's kind of weird to have won Halo 2 on Legendary with all skulls without dying, period. Like, that's such an insane accomplishment just as it is. But to get a $20,000 reward for doing so, that's insane. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on Game Ranks.